The Archive of Forgotten Tongues occupied an entire sector of the collective's historical repository. For 6,000 years, the Velshera had cataloged, analyzed, and obsessed over the inscriptions left behind by the predecessors, an ancient civilization that had vanished long before spacefaring species even existed. The language had resisted every decryption algorithm, every pattern recognition matrix, every linguistic model the Velshera possessed. Then they hired a human consultant. Dr. Marcus Webb stepped into the archive looking distinctly unimpressed. The crystalline walls hummed with stored data. Holographic projections displayed the same undeciphered symbols they'd been displaying for millennia, and the Velshera lead researcher, Coordinator Thex, was already preparing his skepticism like a weapon. "You've had 6,000 years," Marcus said, hands in his pockets. "And nothing." The predecessors employed a phonetic contextual hybrid system unlike anything documented in our databases. Thex replied, his bioluminescent patterns flickering with irritation. "We've identified 17 distinct symbol categories, but their semantic relationships remain opaque. We've brought in specialists from across the collective. Nothing has yielded results." Marcus walked toward the nearest holographic display. The symbols glowed softly, intricate, flowing curves interwoven with sharp angular marks. He studied them for exactly 4 seconds. "It's a map," he said. Silence flooded the archive like a physical force. "What?" Thex's patterns went dark with confusion. "It's a map. See?" Marcus pointed at the flowing curves. "These aren't linguistic markers. They're topographical representations. And these angular bits," he gestured to the sharp marks, "they're landmarks. Elevation markers, probably. You've been treating this like prose when it's actually cartography mixed with a simplified alphabet for labeling." For several minutes, no one moved. The Velshera researchers exchanged bioluminescent flickers in what Marcus had learned to recognize as frantic consultation. "That's not possible," one of the younger Velshera finally ventured. "We analyzed the symbol frequency distribution. The patterns indicate complex semantic content, not just geographic notation." "Yeah, because you kept assuming it had to be language," Marcus said, moving to another section of the display. "Your AI models were trained on languages you understand. Spoken languages, written languages, languages that evolve with abstract concepts built into their structure. But what if these people thought differently? What if they were primarily visual communicators first? What if language was secondary to them?" He tapped the hologram, and new symbols emerged. "See this repeating pattern here? In human history, this exact configuration appears in Native American petroglyphs, ancient Celtic markings, even early Chinese oracle scripts. It means water source. And this one," he pointed to another cluster, "appears on maps from 3 different human civilizations across different continents, separated by centuries. Shelter or settlement." Thex's patterns began cycling through colors that Marcus's translation implant told him meant profound disbelief. "You're saying you recognize these symbols from human history?" "Not recognize exactly," Marcus corrected. "But human brains are pattern recognition machines that evolved under similar environmental pressures as, apparently, the predecessors. When you need to communicate basic survival information, water, shelter, danger, food, the symbols tend to converge. We use similar visual shorthand independently across cultures because those are the symbols our brains naturally create when trying to convey survival data quickly." Marcus spent the next 3 hours pacing through the archive, identifying symbols, explaining their probable meanings, and gradually reconstructing a predecessor language that wasn't really a language. That wasn't really a language at all. It was an intricate visual communication system designed for speed and clarity, built on survival concepts that transcended species boundaries. By the time he finished, the Velshera had mapped 17 previously undeciphered tablet fragments. The oldest archive, which should have taken another 3,000 years to analyze, suddenly became readable. Coordinator Thex approached Marcus as the human was preparing to leave. "How did you accomplish in 3 hours what our civilization could not accomplish in 6,000 years?" the Velshera asked, his patterns pulsing with genuine curiosity. Marcus shrugged. You were looking for complexity in the wrong place. You expected an advanced civilization to think like you, abstract, highly structured, semantic hierarchies. But the predecessors weren't trying to write philosophy or poetry. They were trying to leave a record fast for people who thought like visual organisms rather than audio ones. He headed toward the exit. Sometimes you just need someone from a species that can think like your ancient dead ancestors did. Lucky for you, humans have been leaving visual survival maps on cave walls for 40,000 years. That's a pretty recent memory for us. As Marcus left the archive, Thex watched him go, patterns flickering through colors that indicated something the Velshera rarely experienced: humility. 6,000 years of study, rendered obsolete by a single human perspective.